a quick video on my setup in the living room, or my main living room studio area. As I've said before, a lot of people have a separate studio space, which I can't even imagine having to like drive or commute to my recording studio. I'm definitely a live work artist in the same space. And the amount of like years and dedication it has taken to create this space is literally feels like centuries, hence vamp code. And I had a guy come into our other house in Del Mar, and I had this Only Lovers Left Alive poster, and he was like kind of condescendingly like, oh, is that your favorite movie? Like, kind of trying to psychoanalyze me, and I'm just like, whatever, dude. So, you know, the first 15-20 minutes of that movie, there's sections of it that are my favorite. I have since, the female lead in that role I really don't like. I kind of decided. I used to be like, I think that's one of the benefits of being alive longer or undead longer is because, I don't know, you just get more highly refined in your tastes and what you like and what you don't. And in society, like the it person or the cool actor or whatever musician of the moment, it's really like a kind of brainwashing. And I was thinking a lot about it, but before, this is let's see here. This is the Twin Tribes remix record called Altars, and this is a more traditional like Mexican altar on there. I definitely love the idea of Los Muertos, Dia de los Muertos, but you can see I covered up the cross. Even though I consider myself a Christian, I put that Lace of Spades logo on it. But basically, like I had mentioned before, that I'm not just a self-appointed monk. I was actually like initiated, and I went through a lot of really, I mean, I'm talking about brutal hazing and gnarly ascetic practices. So this really is an altar. The way I was taught meditation over many years is to basically create a divine atmosphere and to worship beauty. And I finally recently saw a post about a guy talking about if you take the most wealthy people on the planet, all of them have one thing in common, which is that they have space in their house where they have sacred objects or like of beauty, because beauty really is the ultimate divine currency. The problem is different people have different standards of beauty, and I know from experience, as I was taught, but also from experience, that physical objects can carry a divine energy. Because if you think about it, everything is made from the substructure of the universe, atoms, including records, which again, you know, this record, for example, this soft metals record, you can see the edge of it. There's a whole story behind it. My favorite song on that record is called Psychic Driving. It's a great track, a divinely inspired track. That's KVB record, one of my favorites, Immaterial Visions. But yeah, I'm not feeling very great right now, and I just wanted to make a quick follow-up about divine energy and the altars in my space. And yeah, this is a painting of mine as well. I studied painting and like mixed media and digital manipulation, photography, all that stuff. It's one of my favorite aircraft probably ever, the Dassault Falcon. That's the tri-jet version. There's something really magical as well about the ferrarilover Testarossa. And then Vamp Code is a song I'm going to have coming out soon. But all the way down to every detail. A lot of people frame their first dollar. That's my first direct deposit, and then I did some artwork around it for my music. And everything down to the specific color. It's like a deep marine blue turquoise velvet on the inside of this case. It's really sacred. So yeah, I mean, and then I pretty much customize all of my pedals. I've got these great tamarind records, Cold Cave. This was actually sent to me for free above there. It's the Surfer's Journal, Outer Space Surfing, which is perfect for me. Basically the lead in that Only Lovers Left Alive, the character himself is definitely, it's essentially me, or I would say maybe my divine Father in heaven. You know, the way, something that is really powerful is to realize that a lot of people, their biggest issue, and this has been my path, that people are operating, or society operates on a massive host of assumptions that are definitely not true, but people operate as though they are true. Here's right here an amazing small die cast model, and this is a really sacred pedal, this one right here. But I guess this video is about more than meets the eye. It's like that famous 80s, it's an 80s toy, Transformers. And it was like, Transformers, more than meets the eye. That is my life, literally. I customize all these Chase Bliss pedals, so they're not really Chase Bliss anymore. They're Ferrari Lover. So yeah, I guess the main point of this video is, before you jump to a conclusion about me or what you, or in general about what you know, be careful what you're thinking, and you know what you're thinking. Be careful where you're going, because you're going where you're watching, type stuff. But yeah, this is kind of how I riff when I'm completely exhausted. For some reason, I felt the need to do a quick video, but I am just not feeling well at all. I work really, really hard, and some people, I think they may be blessed for, you know, a certain period of time to be able to make incredible music, but for me, I play the long game. Like, I'm not going anywhere type thing. This plasma pedal is a really sacred, and I can actually show, if I had, I've got this 𝔰𝔬𝔲𝔬𝔬𝔡 metal zone. The first metal zone I had, I just couldn't connect with it. I mean, that's a perfect example of, let's see here. Here we've got this dark side. Let's call this the Beach Goth pedal board. Let's just see here if I can get my, you know, this is, there we go. You see that? Look at that. That's just from me. That's the current coming from my body. That's pretty killer, right? Look at that. And then, so like, I guess my goal to be the guitar, definitely did that. It's the plasma pedal, and I mentioned before that I used to give blood a lot. So the goal, as I said, as I spent many years, and I still live like a monk to this day, the body is made of electricity, and there's a lot that science doesn't understand. And so, example, I get tired a lot, and a lot of it is because in the world we're living in is pretty bad. Like, it's not very evolved. It's 2026. You think there's definitely a lot more scientific discoveries than have been made public. So a lot of things that people assume is just part of being a normal person. Like, if you look back in, I said, like, look at some advertisements for like in a beauty, like in the New York Times or something in like the early 1900s. I actually don't know when the New York Times started, those old, like, fad objects, like, you know, that there's a lot of mysticism, but there's also a lot of weird, you know, wellness is like it's an economy, and people make money off of what you believe. But who's telling you to believe this shit? I mean, a lot of people, they want to keep up with the Joneses, but they don't realize their desire to fit in and look good to others, or even, you know, if they're unaware as how driven they are by a desire to look good to others. I mean, that could literally cost you everything. No one will ever, I definitely never accomplished anything without having the courage to literally go against everything I thought I knew. And that's what the experience of nirvana and meditation that I experienced. It lasts approximately like three days, 4 nights type thing. It just made me rethink my entire existence. And that's one of the questions. I'm working on the Vamp interview, part 2, also partly the Beach Goth interview. And one of the questions that Goth Mojo magazine sent me was, what's your artistic vision or your goal with, like, reaching your audience type thing? What do you know? And I said, well, from the beginning, you know, I essentially I want nothing less than to make the listener rethink their entire existence, which I think is, like, you know, I've always been a perfectionist to that level, and I've always been fascinated by, like, Batman as a kid, and, you know, I want to do the impossible. Why not? Because I don't see really any reason to, if you think about modern relationship standards, for instance, I mean, marriage is basically a recipe for disaster. The word, like, asking someone to marry you really means, hey, can we kill each other? That's not. So I also want to redefine what language means. And you can't really do that unless you're doing something transcendent like art. What we romanticize as, like, or what I romanticize as eternal love is divine marriage. And I had a sensei or whatever, I guess I'm my own sensei at this point, who said that marriage is made in heaven, and once you marry, you know, that's it. So I think whoever God has ordained someone to marry may be very different from what's happening in the 3D physical reality. So my music is a bridge between the 3D and the 7D in a way, in a very specific way. Yeah, I guess that's where my thesis connects with a lot of stuff. This is just an example of, I'm so incredibly tired. I'm not the only artist to talk about these divine type things. You can see, there's the Cold Cave record, Fate and 7 Lessons. This is like really, really serious stuff. Like, this is more profound and powerful of a few minutes on video than you're really going to find anywhere. That's the bottom line. So I'm going to cut it short because I am tired. The batteries are draining. And if you learn anything, just remember. Oh, look, I think I activated that. Look at that. Pretty powerful. The ultimate lesson in spirituality is that free will really is an illusion. And I gave over my free will to God, and God makes sure that I'm taken care of. Doesn't mean you don't have to work. It's almost the opposite. I work incredibly hard. But there's a lot going on in my music. This is a whole new creation board. And yeah, this is really, really a really profound thing. Just all the, I don't know if you call it eye candy, be the eye candy. Be the eye candy. This is me just riffing. In a way, there's a benefit to being exhausted from working so hard. You just come up with this poetic stuff. I don't have much else to say other than I'm not your ordinary musician, and I'm much more than just a musician. So it's basically a mystery school, you know what I mean? And I hope that when you listen to my music that it makes you rethink your entire existence, because that's what it's designed to do. Especially when you meet me. Especially when you meet me.